Hello and welcome to another edition of Storytelling on Orchard Street. I'm your host, Pete Salamita, and we're in the podcast studios of P&T Knitwear Bookstore, 180 Orchard Street. They have a great selection of books. There's a little cafe that's excellent. You can have a treat, a snack, a drink while you're looking at the books. They have a lot of events, so you should check out their calendar. Today's guest is Fury Young. He is a musician, a multidisciplinary artist, an activist from Lower East Side, New York City. He is the founder and co-director of Freer Records, the first record label in America for formerly and currently incarcerated musicians. Young released his first album from Escape from Lower East Side in 2025 and is currently working on several new projects, both personal and for Freer Records. His work in music, film, poetry, and visual arts has been featured in MoMA PS1, Rolling Stone, Interview Magazine, and The Washington Post. Welcome to the podcast, Fury.
Thank you, Pete. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to talk to you because you seem to be a very interesting guy. I did get to hear your music, the new record, and it's fantastic. We're going to talk a lot about that. That'll be most of the conversation. But first, let's just talk about your background, how you became who you are, somebody who does all these amazing creative things, and at the same time, somebody who cares about social issues. So, the Lower East Side, born and raised here, and you still live here.
Fourth generation.
Yeah. Just tilt the mic just a touch towards you. I'm sorry, I should have.
How's that?
That's good. Yeah.
Yes, so I'm the fourth generation here on these streets of LES.
Where'd your family originally come from?
They came from Lithuania and Ukraine.
Okay.
Austria.
Right.
The first one
Both parents?
Yeah.
I mean, grandparents, I'm sorry. The fourth, great-grandparents.
They call it the Pale of Settlement. They all came from there.
Right.
And the first one,
so that would have been what, like early 1900s?
Yeah. I'm about to get to that. She came here in 1913 on a ship called the Zealand.
Wow.
From Antwerp.
Okay. Right.
So she was the first one here.
All right.
Anna was her name.
Nice.
Anna Steyer.
Wow. And your it's great, right? Great
grandma. Uh-huh.
And how did you meet your great grandfather?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think when he got here, because he got here in 1920.
Right. Okay. Do you have pictures?
I do.
You have a lot of family pictures? Damn, man, I'd love to see them. That's history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have this great book from my grandmother's wedding.
Wow.
Which was
treasure.
In 1950 something.
Oh, awesome, man. I'd
like
love
early 50s.
Yeah.
Early 50s.
Yeah. Cool. And what kind of people were they? Like, what did they do? Or, the family?
Well,
how did it come to that you're so creative? And I think you said your father is too.
Well, it's an interesting story because it's not just on my mom's side. So, yes, my dad came from the Midwest, but my Anna Steyer, who I'm referring to a minute ago, she's from the original Lower East Side, and that's my mom's grandma.
Got it, right.
And they were, just regular folk. Like my great-grandfather had a poultry shop over, literally 2 blocks away from where we are right now.
Right. So you really know this neighborhood. Is it weird for you to be here in the podcast studio?
No, I mean, look, the neighborhood's been changing. So
right. Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
But his shop was where a Magician Bar is now.
Oh. Okay.
And he sold chickens. He sold.
Are there any
chickens
photos
also.
of that? You got photos of the chicken shop?
I don't think
I
do. I don't know. But legend has it that next door to his poultry shop, my aunt had a shop called One Day Old Bread.
Wow. And did they really sell day old bread?
Apparently.
Well, there was this was not a rich neighborhood like it is now.
No.
Yeah, it's so funny because when I first moved into Brooklyn in 1980, we would come down here, this is before even like Luna Lounge and some of those things started happening. Mm-hmm. And, restaurants were really cheap. There's a lot of, there's all kinds of clothing stores and, old school things too,
Right.
And now you go to, there's places with $40, $50 entrees.
That's wild. Yeah.
This
block, Orchard Street, you can still see some of the remnants.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Like between Delancey and Rivington.
Definitely. So you got a cool, interesting family background. What was it like for you as a kid growing up on the Lower East Side?
It was good, in retrospect. I had this funny phase when I was pretty young where I was like ashamed of it.
Wow.
I think because I was like always a little bit of an outsider. So like I grew up across the street from the projects, and there it was mostly Dominican. I'm Jewish, and I lived in a building. It was an old tenement building, and everyone there was actually they were all pretty much white, but they were also all artists, and it was just like a different scene. And I didn't quite feel comfortable till later. I was just like the weird arty kid.
Right.
And I went to school, public school, a few blocks away, and it was pretty diverse. And I don't know, I didn't really find my pride in the neighborhood until later. And I think I had like bought into some capitalist propaganda pretty young because I wanted like shiny shit.
Sure.
I can curse, right?
Yeah.
I wanted like, a movie theater and a fancy supermarket. I don't know why. I was so young. But then, like they say, be careful what you wish for.
Right.
Because then it all happens.
Right. It all happens. And then, unfortunately, it makes it more expensive to live there. And it pushes people out that might have been here for what do you call it, generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the downside.
Absolutely.
But the Lower East Side, like lots of parts of the New York City, I mean, New York City, late 60s, 70s, it went bankrupt.
Right.
And it was like, even in 1980, it was still really cool.
Mm-hmm.
New York City, it was so vibrant. It was great for arts. And you could have, I mean, I lived in Brooklyn, but even still, you could kind of afford to live here as an artist or musician or, back in the day down here. And I don't know, man, it's not the same like that way. So you got all these nice things, but then you got that, Yeah. But you also had, a lot of drugs in the and crime in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you see the tail end of that? Yeah. Because you said you were born in 89?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because before that it was kind of rough as far as that goes. Mm-hmm. I've had a lot of guests that grew up in the Lower East Side or moved here, back in the day.
Yeah. I always felt safe growing up. But there definitely was a lot of drugs, and there were just prostitutes on the street, like, street workers type vibe. Like my mom's friend tells the story all the time of me being a kid and pointing to some woman on Allen on the corner and saying, "Look, mommy, it's a prostitute."
Right.
Like I was just very aware.
Right,
of
sure.
what
Like
was going
it was just a
it was there.
thing.
It was out.
It was like seeing a pigeon.
Right. Yeah. I guess
so. When you were a kid, were you a creative guy? Like
Yes,
like when did you start getting into music?
Music, my first memory of is listening to Hit the Road Jack on a vinyl record with my mom.
Ray Charles?
I was probably like, Ray's version when I was maybe 4 or 5.
That's a great introduction to music.
And my family, actually going back to the ancestry for a minute, because my mom's maiden name is Spivak, which means singer in Russian, Ukraine. And so I come from a very long line of cantors and rabbis.
Right. Okay.
So it's in my blood, the whole performing thing.
Right.
But music, I never was that into like Jewish music, even though my mom forced me to go to Hebrew school. But I really gravitated to rock music actually from a pretty young age. I had an older sibling who liked rock and other types of music, so they got me into a lot of different stuff. But rock music, in a way, always felt like it felt like the earliest home for me. And the first song that I remember feeling that way about when I was 7 was, do you remember the Counting Crows?
Yeah, sure.
That song, A Long December?
Yeah.
I was 7 years old, and I grew up without a TV, so I remember hearing it on the radio for the first time and just thinking, that's my song. Like, that's the kind of music
that's a good memory.
I love.
Yeah.
And I still love that song.
Sure. Oh, it was a great song. I actually worked with somebody in a cafe that wound up opening for them, the Counting Crows. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you say Jewish. This right here. I mean, all around here was there's a lot of Jewish legacy.
Yeah, even Katz is still right there. We can practically see it from
yeah. So there's a lot of great history here. So when did you actually start playing music? Like, what was it? A guitar? Was that your first instrument?
Yeah, when I was about 21.
Oh, why so late?
Because I really wanted to be a film director, actually.
I see. So film was your first thing.
Film was my first love as an artist. And the funny thing is, though, Pete, is that I always just wanted to make film so I could put music in it.
Oh, okay.
So all the films that I made had
Right.
like we're very dominated by
the
music.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so what would be the first music soundtrack that made you think that? Like what? Like
That's a really good question. God, I need to think about that.
Yeah, I
one
know
more.
it's not something you rolls off the tongue.
Because I definitely can name ones that I thought of were very inspirational in like my teenage years, but to think about it extremely young,
And
it
there's
would be very interesting to kind of meditate on that. But
Right.
my quick answer would be Dario Argento movies.
Huh.
Like he used, Goblin, Claudio Simonetti.
Oh,
He's
okay.
an Italian giallo horror filmmaker. And
okay,
some
I
of
don't
his
know it.
movies are
Right.
really fun.
Right.
And he uses this kind of like heavy metal 80s synthy soundtrack in a really fun way.
Oh, well, you came up with a really good answer quick. And there's two kinds of music soundtracks for movies, right? There's the one that's mostly composed with, and then there's ones that are, the heavy thing is other people's music.
Right. And that's a good point too. I mean, I was more gravitated to the latter, pop music type stuff.
Right.
Not really like composed John Williams.
Right.
Danny Elfman or whatever.
Although they're great.
Yeah, they're good, but I actually...
You want to see...
I don't know. I do find sometimes that music can ruin a movie, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Right.
Like, I just saw Marty Supreme, and I thought it was... I thought the movie was very good. I wasn't like head over heels in love, but it was really good. And I liked how... One thing I liked about it was that they used pop music in a cool way.
Right.
It took place in the 50s, actually, in this neighborhood, but they used a lot of music from the 80s.
Did you like it? Because I've seen mixed reactions to it.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's good. It's very good. I wasn't in love, but it was really good.
Okay, but the music you liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like if that movie got made maybe 10, 20 years ago, or even now with a less inventive director, they probably would have just worked with like John Williams.
Right.
you know?
So my first introduction to music in film that would really excite me were the Beatles, right? Because I'm old enough that I saw the movies when they came out.
Like Hard Day's Night, Help.
But it was the music was the thing, really.
Sure.
The story was there just so they could do the music.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different thing. Well, they were kind of like when you think about it, those movies were kind of like the grandparents of MTV, right? Yeah.
Like the original music video. Yeah.
But I think probably the best movie ever for music in it has to be The Blues Brothers. Mm-hmm. You know the movie? Have you ever seen it?
I mean, Clarence Clemens is in it.
Well, look who's in it. No, the first one. The first one.
Isn't Clarence in the first one?
No, it's all the legends. John Lee Hooker, Cab Calloway, James Brown, Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin. Chaka Khan was in James Brown's orchestra. Who am I leaving out? Well, of course, some of the guys from Booker T and the MGs, Steve Cropper and Donald Duck Dunn. And actually
Duck
the drum.
Dunn,
Yeah, so it's their legends. They were the legends of the time. So anyway. So film was kind of your first creative idea. Did you in high school do anything? Like, did they have a good school have a good creative arts program?
It actually did. It kind of had this class that like saved my life because I was going through a really dark time. And there was this digital film class. This is just in a public school, but this is New York City. So of course, here you get like some digital film class in a public school, and I took advantage of it. And the assignment was to make a 5-minute thing, and I made a 30-minute thing.
Wow.
And I say it saved my life because I was really slacking. I was doing a lot of drugs and stuff like that. And I hadn't found my passion or my thing that I was working hard at.
Right.
And when I took that class, it was like a way to channel
light bulb
that.
went off.
A light bulb went off. And actually, my parents told me later, they were like, we were super worried about you at that stage. But when we saw you made that film, even though it was really fucking weird and shit, they're like, we knew that you were probably going to be okay.
Do you have access to the film? Like you have
I do, yeah. It's called E = MC square.
Is it like you're probably not? You don't have it on YouTube or anything, do you?
It's not on YouTube.
Can you send me a link?
Yeah, sure. I have a private link.
It.
I would like to put it on YouTube maybe eventually, but it's very special to me actually to this day.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
And I
How long
feel
is
a
it?
little precious about it.
How long
like
is it?
It's 30 minutes.
Wow, okay.
28 minutes, yeah. But the
That's
funny
a big
thing
project
is,
to do in high school.
but it's all cut, mostly all cut. I'd say 75% of it is cut to music and like very intense music.
Right. Like what?
Like, well, intense to me.
Okay.
Bruce Springsteen, 50 Cent, Barry White.
Okay.
And this.
That's a really eclectic mix.
There's also some classical music in it that was source music. Like it was just playing in the shot.
I see.
And back then, like I didn't know anything about like, oh, you would mix it this way and you should turn the radio off and add it in later or whatever. But it's a scene with my grandma. She's in the film. And she happened to be listening to WQXR, I think. Is that the classical station? Yeah. And it made the film, and it ended up being such interesting audio, actually, because it was kind of jagged and ghetto sounding, that I not only use it in the scene with her, but it's like in other scenes too.
Right. I hear a little Bruce Springsteen in your music.
Sure, people say that a lot, and you know what? I'm grateful.
Yeah, that's not a bad comparison.
I mean, I love Bruce.
You know Garland Jeffries?
No.
Okay, you should check him out. He's a Lower East Side guy.
Is he like one of the holy modal rounders?
No, he's
or like
I guess 80s
like
guy.
a Fugs guy.
No, a rock, like Lower East Side rock.
Okay,
right, yeah.
Yeah, send me some. I'd be curious.
Okay, I pulled that one out of like distant memory, so I have to listen to it again to see if I'm right about how it sounds like you would like it.
Okay,
but
I love rock music.
That's
I love
the thing
folk
that
music.
I spend my life doing.
Yeah.
Like if I meet somebody and I see what they're into, then I'm like, oh, I bet you they would like this. Because, I was a DJ for all. So you got to do that kind of stuff.
Well, my hat, have you heard of this guy? Real quick, do you know Lee Volbeck?
I don't know.
He's great. And to me, he's really like that beautiful point of where folk and rock and soul
Is it current guy?
Yeah. This album came out last year, and I think it's one of my favorite albums ever.
I got to check it out.
Incredible.
Right. I got a lot of homework to do. Too bad we didn't have a pre-interview. Because we could have like checked all these things out.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, we talked on the phone, but we didn't get it. What's the symbol on the front of the cap?
It looks to me like a tumbleweed.
Oh, okay. You don't know.
I don't know exactly what the significance is, but to me, it gives like nature and.
So what was your post high school? Did you go to college?
I didn't go to college. I was very stubborn, actually, to not go to college.
So you didn't go to film school after high school?
I did this 1 year thing called New York Film Academy, but kind of to appease my parents.
Right.
They had saved some money for my college fund, and they were just begging me to do something.
Right.
So I did it, and it sucked, actually.
Really?
I mean, I shouldn't say it sucked, but I would say that it made me want to be a film director a lot less.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Why? They were too rigid.
No, maybe I'm the kind of person who just needs to like find shit out for myself.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right.
I wasn't like a bad student really, but I think film, I don't know. Maybe it's because I have a lot of background and also like visual art and different kinds of art. And I think I was also a little bit stuck up too.
Right. Okay.
So I kind of had this attitude of like, I'm a pure artist. I can do it my way. And learning all these technical things at that young an age wasn't actually that helpful because it was really like they made you do what the teachers wanted you to do.
Right. So. Well, what would have been better for you?
Probably just going into the workforce, which I then did. Okay. So then I just started working in films.
Right. It's not, it's probably maybe in some ways. So I went to later in life, actually too later in life, I discovered when I was 45, I went to culinary school.
Oh, interesting.
And really, it's expensive. And I didn't go to an expensive one. But, you don't have to go to a school to be a chef. Mm-hmm. You could just probably the best thing to do is go work in the kitchen and do all the low end jobs.
Right.
Be a dishwasher, a prep guy, and watch what's happening and learn all those things and learn discipline and how to work. And so I guess you could do the same thing in film, right? Like what was your first job in film?
I was doing like a PA and then eventually art department.
So were these things that paid the bills or was something you did on the side while you were working a job?
No, they did.
Okay.
I mean, I was working my
So you've supported yourself
off.
All your life by creative stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I was just going to say something about, so to your point about not needing to go to school. I mean, I think, this sounds a little harsh, but I think for people who are super self-motivated, they don't.
Right.
And then if you feel like, you're overthinking, and should I make films? Should I not make films? Yeah, maybe you should go to film school.
Right.
Because you need that push. But I was not like that. I was ready to rock, you know?
Right. Well, eventually, if you want a good job in film, you have to have the skills and the knowledge. which you don't really get in. So even with culinary school, even if you go to culinary school,
Yeah.
you got to do internships,
Yeah.
and you're not going to get anywhere until you've done the work, because it doesn't matter what school you went to if you're a shit cook. The same thing with film. If you don't know what you're doing, how to use a camera or whatever your job is in film, it doesn't matter you went to school or not.
Yeah. I always think of that Pink Floyd song, you gotta be crazy, you gotta have a real need. You know that one?
Right. Yeah. So at that time, you in bands too? Like, when did you start doing music also?
So I was 21 or so. I had just gotten a guitar. And so what happened was, it's funny talking about the college thing, actually, because I was working in film for a few years. I was making good money. I felt very proud that I was like moving on up. I became a prop master and art director kind of quickly on some indie stuff. And I was like 20,
Right.
So I was doing good, and I was totally self-supporting myself. No help from mom and dad. Had left the neighborhood when I was 20, got my own place in Williamsburg on Graham Ave. And then I started to feel a little bit of a block. Like, I need to learn more about the world and stuff. And actually, this is a good little story. I had seen this documentary about the Lower East Side at the Seward Park Public Library. And it was very interesting. It was shot in the 70s. And it was about all the different cultures, mostly Jews, because it was old. Right. And I really found it fascinating. And I went home that day and I wrote in my notebook, "History is the key." And that ended up being like a very prescient little 4-word journal entry, because that was where I saw my direction eventually go. And I decided to enroll in some community college classes. I was like, I want to leave New York. I want to see the world a bit, and I want to learn more. Because when I was just working on sets like 6 days a week, 12-hour days.
And a lot of it's grunt work, right?
It's grunt work. Yeah, it wasn't creative.
So you get to the point where you can be in one of the creative aspects, either as an actor or writer or director or whatever. Well, everything else is just labor.
Pretty much.
Right.
And I was working as a carpenter. I was working at a shop. So it was hard work. You know? I didn't really have time to
And those are long days,
take
like you
stuff
said.
in.
Sure.
Yeah.
You really have to have the determination to go through that.
So I ended up on a whim signing up for a few classes that were all super various. It was like 20th century genocide, classical guitar, and geology, and a couple other things.
Wow.
And so I moved out west.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to just learn everything. I kind of had too many dreams, as I say. So I moved out west, and that's what happened. I started taking these community college classes at Los Angeles City College, and it was a really depressing and lonely time in my life because I didn't know anyone, but it was also really formative because I had this professor, shout out Dr. Wendell Eckford, and he was the 20th century genocide professor.
Wow.
And that class blew my mind.
I bet it. That's
and
insane.
At the same time,
matter.
this is 2011, Occupy Wall Street had started.
Okay.
So it was like a boom, perfect storm.
Right.
I got more into history first and then eventually activism.
I see.
And also classical guitar. But another quick little note on that is, what's funny is I just thought classical guitar meant like classic rock or something. When they made me get a nylon string guitar and pulled out Green Streets or whatever it's called, some Segovia thing.
Green sleeves?
Green sleeves.
Yeah. That's a great piece, though. And Segovia.
I was like, well, but I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I know.
Because I was 21 and I wanted to just,
you wanted to rock out.
Play Bruce.
Yeah. Sure. But, the more you learn about music, even if you're not going to play that kind of, like the best musicians, even if it's heavy metal or anything else, a lot of those guys have all kinds of chops. Like they've studied either jazz or, like you said, classical music or, and then you can incorporate that into your playing. And even if you're playing rock, it's going to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Like if you only like one kind of music and you play that kind of music, it's not going to be as interesting, right? Like if you can play heavy metal, but if all you've ever listened to is heavy metal, how are you going to have a different voice? Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you need that dynamicness.
Yeah. So okay, so so now you're 21, you got a guitar, and then you go to you do all that. You stop working in the film, did you go back to film? Did you?
I actually
and when
did.
was your first band? Or
I've never really been in an official band.
Oh, okay. So you always performed under your name.
It's just me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what do you do? Like solo, or you also occasionally get people to play with you? Or?
Yeah, lately I've been playing with
Like your
people who are on
record,
my
which we're going to talk about later.
Yeah.
Were those studio cats or just people
Yeah.
you know? Or,
Yeah.
But you don't actually.
They were both.
Right. Okay. Right. But have you performed out with them?
Yeah.
For the
we
record.
did a release party at KGB Bar.
Okay.
In November, and I played with tracks and my guitar player.
Right. Okay. Right.
Eventually, the goal is to play full band. So my music, if you haven't heard it and you're just tapping in, the latest record, it's a very big sound, almost like wall of sound.
Yes, it is.
And I started with beats, and then with these Finnish producers.
Right.
And literally from Finland.
Right.
And then we added or subtracted a lot of stuff to it. And I worked with two incredible musicians for pretty much all the songs who are, friends and here in Brooklyn.
Right. You know what? I want to go to some of the other things and then get back to the record.
Okay.
But
Sounds good.
I just lost it. This phone wasn't supposed to shut off. My phone had it set so it didn't shut off. Okay, so which is the one, Slow Motion and the two songs that you gave me links to, Slow Motion and I'm playing. Sorry, I don't want to talk over your music. Middle of the Night, Slow Motion. I forgot which one's the one starts off kind of synthy.
Well, they all do.
Oh, okay, all right.
I think you're probably thinking of Middle of the Night.
Right.
In the middle of the night.
Why don't we play, which one do you want to end with? Because we're going to play a whole song at the end that people can listen to after.
I think we should actually play a little snippet of Escape from LES.
Okay, let's do that.
Because this is storytelling
we're talking
on
about
Orchard
that.
Street.
Yeah. Let's play a snippet of that, and then we'll go back to the conversation. I do want to talk about Freer Records also.
Escape from LES.
The chorus really amps up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah. So you do the programming?
Yeah, I did all the editing, all the arranging.
Yeah, okay. So it's all you, except the guitars, you said?
Well, the beats are these guys, Tuomo and Tommy in Finland.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So the only instrument that we added was a lot of guitar, some Prophet synth actually, and some hand claps.
Right. So when you did,
and then I arranged it, did all the editing, did
when
the
you
recording.
did basic track, you did it with those two guys playing or you played over there what they put together.
Yeah, Tom played over what they played. So I didn't play instruments on any of these songs.
Okay.
I just did the singing and additional
But you sang
production.
to what? What did you sing
arranging.
over?
To the beats.
Right.
So
and then you added a lot of the other stuff later.
Yeah, exactly. We added a lot of guitar and a lot of synth, and also shout out to Joe DeGeorge from Downtown Boys, one of my favorite punk bands. He plays tenor sax on the last two tracks, and there's like a little alto sax on one song and some harmonica from an amazing session Nashville guy named John Heinrich.
Okay, cool. So you said you did a record release and you performed there. You have any performances coming up?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Okay.
I'm hoping to do a tour to all the way out west, starting in September. So
Nice.
we'll see.
Okay.
It's just such a big slog, and
Right.
I don't know if this might be a smooth transition to freer, but I run a record label for formerly and currently incarcerated musicians. We're the first in the U.S. to do that, and it takes up a lot of my time.
Yeah, I bet.
So
It's a
to
big deal.
go on
Right.
tour is going
Right.
to be hard.
Right. Yeah. And it's a really important thing. How'd you get that idea?
Well, I had a neighborhood mentor actually named Alexander Pridgeon, rest in peace. He lived across the street from me in a place called Rivington House. It was a home for folks with HIV and AIDS.
This is weird, man.
Oh, you knew him?
No, in the 90s, I used to bring musicians to perform for people there. Every week. Every week we would perform.
So you must have known Alex.
I
Well,
don't
he
know.
came in there in '99, so maybe not.
I was gone then.
Okay.
I think it was around when I left. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
you were up on the block.
Yeah, I went there every week, man. It was someplace like 200 people.
Wow, that's really cool, Pete.
Yeah. And we did shows. I had great musicians.
There were some really good people there who lived there, and some of the staff.
Right. I have I'm going to send it to you. I have a poem I wrote about, I don't know why, but so I did that in 8 hospitals at one point. I had musicians go directly into either long-term care like Rivington House or into the AIDS wards in hospitals.
Oh, wow.
And it was all kinds of people, Broadway people, rock people, folk,
Right.
and some pretty big people. Yeah, and I went there. But I wrote a poem. There was one guy that just stood out. I started writing poetry 15 years ago, and then I wrote a poem. I have to send it to you. It's about a guy that was a resident there the whole time. I was involved there for like 8 years.
Wow. I probably know the guy who it was.
Yeah.
Do you know how long he was there for? Or?
It's hard to remember, and a lot of the people, and it might be his case too. Sometimes they would get out and they would do good for a while and then go back.
Yeah.
Like once you have AIDS at that point, especially, I mean, we talk about the 90s.
Yeah.
The drugs were just starting to, help people.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the people, let's be fair, a lot of the people also had drug issues,
Sure.
mental health issues. The people that you would see in these kind of places, on top, either they were the result of, that might have been what led to AIDS,
Right.
or some of it was a result of it too, this mental illness and stuff like that.
Yeah, my guy Pridgeon was definitely a drug addict at one point.
Yeah.
That's how he contracted it, I believe.
So because they closed, I'm not sure how long ago they closed
Like
Rivington.
2016, something like that.
Right. Yeah. I was sad to see that go.
There was a big fight. Actually, my dad was very instrumental in organizing around it to not turn it into condos.
Right.
And they won.
Yeah, I remember the fight.
I believe it's a Mount Sinai facility now.
I'm glad
that's Israel or something like that.
That's
it's a
great.
medical facility still.
Right. So when would your friend have been in there?
So he got there in 99 and he
like you said,
passed away in 2015, but he had left Rivington House. I think he got kicked out for smoking weed too much.
Oh, wow.
He left Rivington House in
Which is funny because that's something
2012.
that's like the least, all the stuff that get pumped into them. And they get kicked out for that.
Yeah, he would always say, "I'm a gangster. You can't tell me what to do."
Right. Oh. So wait a second, 99.
So I was 10.
Yeah.
But I didn't really become friends with him until I was 19.
Oh, I see.
Because I found him to be super annoying, to be honest. Because he was one
So
of
he's
those,
older than you.
Oh, he was
a lot older.
He was in his 60s when I met him.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, when I became friends with him.
So how'd you meet him again?
He was just a neighborhood guy. Like
okay.
he was in a wheelchair, and he would always be parked outside in his chair on the corner of Eldridge and Rivington. He would be feeding the pigeons or just talking shit, and that's why I found him super annoying because he would like flirt with my mom a bit. He would yell at me shit like "Listen to your mother," Like he was just an annoying old head. When you're like a 10-year-old kid, and there's
you don't
like
know what to make of
this
people like
kind of
that.
intimidating older black dude in a wheelchair who's super big and like has cross-eyed and he's yelling at you stuff. You're kind of like, whoa, dude, chill.
That's always
you don't understand that it's love,
Right.
You just don't get it.
Well, something like that's not always easy to take as if you're an adult.
Yeah, that's true. But
You know?
but then it came to be that he was like we were carrots and peas. You know? I just had to have that icebreaker, and it came in a very funny form. I had a friend whose father was Johnny Kemp. Do you remember that one-hit wonder? Just got paid. Friday night. Just got paid.
Okay, right.
Party hunting, right. It's like a Teddy Riley song.
Yeah.
But so that was Jason's dad, and also rest in peace. Johnny passed away maybe 10 years ago now, but he was like a Harlem guy, and clearly, you know, a boisterous. I mean, he just got paid, so he had a lot of flavor, shall we say, to him. And he walked by Pridgeon one day when I was hanging out with him, and Johnny Kemp and Alex Pridgeon just had this like Harlem connection, you know, like sparks started to fly. They started talking to each other, old New Yorker vibes, and they just really were laughing and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, this guy that I've known for 10 years is actually pretty cool. Like I should stop and talk to him one day, because I was still a little snob. I was 19. And then we actually became really close, and I made this documentary about him that I could send you, which some of we shot in Rivington House.
Wow, holy shit! Yeah, I wonder if you have to send me his name. You have a lot. We'll pass information back and forth. I'm going to send you the poem I wrote, because I became good friends with a music therapist who was pretty young at the time. Was kind of just getting his feet wet as a music therapist, and he started doing music therapy at Rivington House while I was doing the shows, and I ran into him, and we hit it off. And so, you know, he was he studied at NYU. He was a real deal music therapist, and he at one point, you know, we became friendly. At one point, he asked me if I would be board president for the Rebecca Center for Music Therapy. It was named for his grandmother. He wanted to do his own music therapy organization. So so that was like around the time I might have. It was around 2000, I think he started, because I remember it was tough because the funds started becoming harder for not-for-profits to raise money around that after 9/11, because everybody was putting their money into 9/11, and he had just started out. But we got him into have a space at Malloy College on Long Island, and he's still active. Cool. But he started there also. And I wonder if he knows your friend. He probably does. Yeah. Wow, we have some connections, man. So how did Freer Records come up?
Well, so I was inspired by people like Alex.
Right.
And I read a book called The New
Had
Jim
he been
Crow.
in prison?
Yeah, he did. He didn't do a lot of time, but he did do time up by Canada. So I think like Clinton and Attica.
Right.
So I feel like that was formative for him. And he would tell me prison stories a lot. He was just like a hood guy, you know. He was actually Muhammad Ali's bodyguard.
Wow.
At
Okay.
one point.
Right.
Me and Mr. T, he would say, because you know Mr. T was also Muhammad Ali's bodyguard.
Right.
So yeah, he was hilarious. But I read The New Jim Crow, which was a book that came out in 2010, and it was like 2012 when I read it. And I had gotten into Occupy Wall Street.
What does New Jim Crow mean?
I'll get there.
Okay.
So I had gotten into Occupy Wall Street, but it was like a potpourri of different shit, and like everyone was all over the place.
So not focused enough.
Yeah, and I just wanted to find a thing that I really felt passionate about, because I knew that I deeply cared about social justice, but I wasn't sure like where's the thing where I can fit in and actually make a dent, and actually, you know. So I read this book, The New Jim Crow, and even though I'd never been to prison and, you know, I'm white, the book is about that prison is a modern day racial caste system.
Yeah, of course.
That's the author's thesis. It's a new Jim Crow. Right. And I pretty much agreed with her thesis. And most of all, though, I wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth. Right. The author, who's an incredible writer, she's also a legal scholar. She's a lawyer. She's a lawyer. She's a lawyer. And there weren't enough firsthand accounts for my taste. I wanted to bring my passion of art and music and social justice into a platform where I could actually talk to people, black people originally. It was just really black folks I wanted to focus on who had been incarcerated or were. Yeah,
which makes up a big portion of the prison population, comparative to their population numbers.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, the prison system is modern day slavery, really. And slavery didn't really go away, right? You know.
Yeah, there's certainly accents of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so you had this idea, and what was it like the first? Like, you had to go to which prison did you go to first?
Well, I didn't record there, but the first prison I ever went to was Sing Sing
Oh, okay,
for a graduation ceremony.
right. But no, I meant to get this idea going to talk.
Oh, well, I got
work
access to a place in Ohio
Okay,
on a
But were you
on a
still
fluke,
living here?
A total fluke, yeah.
and so you had to go there to do it,
Yeah.
right? And you just went there. I mean, how did you? So I guess you had to make a lot of, go through a whole system to actually be able to go in there and work with the prisoners, right? So how much effort did you have to put into it?
I actually got very lucky. I hit a home run on my first at bat in this case, and then I struck out a bunch. But the first time I went up, I had just found the right person. Her name was Dr. Kathy Roma, and she was a choir director at this prison called Warren in Lebanon, Ohio. And she'd been for over 20 years. So she had some juice there, and she had read the book that I'd just read, and she was very moved by it.
Right.
And so she really lobbied hard for me to get in there.
Okay. And so when you went in there and it was the first time, so how were you received? Like,
Very well.
Right.
The very first time, it was, we were a little bit in over our heads. Me and my engineer, Dr. Israel, he was very experienced with music, but, he'd never recorded in the prison before. And we also had kind of...
So you recorded actually in the prison?
Oh, yeah. We were in the visiting room.
Right.
And I guess we set up a little studio in the visiting room. And, now that I'm thinking back on it, I guess kind of part of the deal in getting access was that I was supposed to record an entire choir. Right? Because this is what Dr. Roma had been doing.
Right.
So I think she wanted me to record the whole choir. And I did make
the prison had a choir.
Yeah, 26 guys.
Okay.
And I did make contact with a few individuals within the choir who I was working with on some solo songs. But the very first time I recorded in a prison, it was really working with mostly the choir, and the solo guys had to incorporate the choir in their songs. So even though it was a hell of an experience and a really good one, it wasn't, I'd say, super intimate because we didn't get to hone in on.
Right. It wasn't what your vision was quite. It wasn't quite your vision.
Yes and no. I had to really work with what I had and turn the choir into part of my vision.
Right.
But then we came back 10 months later and we really lasered in on these individuals who I'd gotten to know. And
And so
we
these
put
are
out
guys
this EP
that
from that.
are these guys that were already, musicians, and
Some
or
were,
they became,
some weren't.
Yeah,
some
right. So it's a mix.
We're kind of more rappers.
Right. But so it's a mix of like guys that just wanted to try it because they never had a chance to do it, and then some maybe had done it previously.
Yeah, and even very early on, my original concept was very rigid, where I only wanted to work with Black singers and songwriters.
Right.
But even the first time, it was like, the Black songwriters that I was working with, Mark Springer, for example, he was like, dude, sorry, but like my guitar player is a white guy who looks like Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top,
Right.
I get there and lo and behold, it looks like Billy Gibbons is on the guitar. So there was like nothing I could do about that. And I had to expand my vision from day one. Once I got in there, it was like, no, Fury, your picture perfect idea of this micromanaged thing, it's gonna be different.
Right.
And I give myself some credit there because I was able to expand it.
Right.
And that's what led to it becoming a record label.
Well, after all, it wasn't all about you.
No, it wasn't. And I realized too that it was this funny push-pull where I didn't fully understand that it was my vision until a few years in.
Right.
I was trying to be very democratic, and in some ways I was, but at the end of the day, my concept, because it was a concept album, it was very much inspired by The Wall, Pink Floyd. It was very much my vision. I mean, most of these guys I was working with, and women eventually as well, these are black folks. Most of them are from, the hood.
Right.
They're not really listening to Pink Floyd.
No.
So boom,
Right.
even that
Right.
from the jump.
Doesn't mean
It's
they wouldn't like it if they heard
and
it.
a lot of them did. They
Yeah.
some of them got really into it, and
Right.
we had some interesting
Because
results.
let's face it, there's a lot of that kind of stuff in hip hop.
Yeah,
Or
there's
rap,
overlap,
there's
blues
yeah,
and
there's-
stuff.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd is like a bluesy art band,
Right.
kind of. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, it was a really funny mix of stuff, and it eventually led to a record label, and that's been way more organic.
So what
And
year was that?
2019, when I realized that we
Right.
were, past the point of no return in
Right.
terms. This has to be something bigger than just this one idea.
Right. Wow, what a great thing, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very organic.
Yeah. And so how many? And there was like there's a number of albums and EPs and singles, right? How
Yeah,
many?
so we've put out like 5-6 LPs. We've put out a ton of EPs, and we've put out 30 singles,
Right.
something like that.
Are they all different performers, or some
Yeah.
repeats, or
No, there's a few repeats for sure.
Right.
But it's genre agnostic.
right? Now, any of the
A lot of hip hop.
men and women that you first recorded, have they gone on to do other things?
Well, one of them is now my co-executive director
Oh shit!
of the nonprofit,
Right.
BL Sherrill.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's been
That's a big
probably
deal.
That's been the biggest journey.
Say the name again.
BL Sherrill.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's been just in terms of one-on-one people.
I saw that on the website. She's pretty new, right?
What do you mean new?
As a co-director.
3 years.
Oh, okay, all right.
But she started as one of our artists. She wrote some tracks for the EP, the first thing we ever
I
put
see.
out.
Okay.
And
Was she in the music business before she was incarcerated?
Yeah, actually, she's been writing rap since she was 14 or
Right.
something.
Right.
Maybe even younger than
Right.
that.
But had she ever recorded?
She had in between bids. So she did 6.5 years, she did 6 years, and then she was out for like a year and change, and she recorded in that time. And then she got locked up again for like 3.5 years.
Okay. Right.
So she did about 10 in the state penitentiaries in Pennsylvania. So she lives in Philly, and it was just great fate, like we are about the same age. She's just a couple years older than me. She lives 2 hours away. And when I started talking to her, she was locked up, but she was getting out very soon.
Right.
So it ended up being really good as a relationship that built over time. So it started as an artist, and then a founding board member, and then a deputy director, and now co-executive director.
How are you guys funded?
We are funded through grants and donations.
Okay.
And some,
why don't you tell? Was it a good
some
time to
earned
tell people
income.
how they can make donations?
go to freerrecords.com/donate. It's FREER records.com/donate.
Do you guys do fundraisers?
All the time.
Live things?
I mean, nonprofits really, it's like all roads lead to
Well, you got to do
fundraising.
grants. You got to do, fundraisers. The fundraisers, are not just about the money. Sometimes it's about visibility too.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have any coming up this year?
We will very soon. We'll be announcing a really big event for the premiere, actually, of a visual album to the first album ever from a woman in prison. So we shot videos for all of the songs on the album, and then we did a
You shot them
documentary.
in the prison or
Partially in the
Partially,
prison,
right.
some in her hometown.
Right.
And it became this visual album documentary. So it's really good.
it's not available yet?
Not in full, no.
Right, okay.
We just put out the newest single yesterday. It's called Bloodline.
Okay.
And the artist's name is B. Alexis. Just B. Alexis. And it's a phenomenal album, really cool song.
Yeah, I'm gonna check all that out. I apologize for not doing it ahead of time. I don't know.
Hey, you're a busy guy.
Yeah, but I got sleepy. I don't know if the holidays or
Oh, man. The end of last year
right.
was just...
And it's not to toot my own horn, but I put a book out in the fall, and then I did this big event. I do a variety show, a bi-weekly variety show.
Oh, cool.
And not bi-weekly. I'm sorry, bi-monthly. And it's poetry, music, some comedy
I'd love
sometimes.
to do something.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And but I did the last variety show was for my book, so I got all these great poets that I really like. I consider friends at this point, and they read my poetry, and then some of their own. I have musicians there. this couple did that are in a band called Girls on Fire. Took 2 of my poems and made them into songs. So and it just wiped me out. It's like, you know. So after that and the holidays and everything, and I'm like, you know, I came here today. I'm like, damn, I wish I had I saw those videos on the website, and I was like, should have checked them out. So
I understand.
so the videos
me,
people
I feel you.
People can see the videos on the website, but are they also available like YouTube?
Everywhere. So easy.
You have
to
a
find.
YouTube channel?
Yeah, just
you do for your name?
Records. For your records, for the label, and for me, it's just Fury Young.
Right. So what's on your? Well, you did your own videos for your.
I did.
Do you have videos before this record?
I have a few like lyric videos that are very just low budgety, lo-fi kind of thing.
Right. But you told me before it started you've done 3 videos already for the new album.
Yeah. So Escape from LES, which is my new record, it just came out in November. It's got 3 videos. And they're really fun. I had a great time editing them and acting in them.
So you get to use all your things, man.
Yeah,
all the things
it's like
you do
film,
between
editing,
the record label,
music.
your music, the videos.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I really applaud you, man.
Thank you.
It's a big deal that you could do that.
I really appreciate that.
Right, and you're helping people too. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah. Well, for 20 years I did that. You know, 2 different places. You know, and it's nothing like if you take your passion and do something good with it, man. There's nothing better than that.
And the thing is, at the end of the day, you know, I just love music so much. Like, to me, it's like music is my religion.
Right.
So even though sometimes I totally get frustrated, like, I'm not able, like right now, you know, my album's out and I'm not doing enough promotion. Like, that's why I appreciate this platform so much, because I've been swallowed up by the record label again.
Right.
However, I just feel still so grateful that I'm in music. Like, as long as I'm always adjacent to music, I'm good.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I felt the same way when I could go to work. For 20 years, I went to work where first it was with blind and people with disabilities, and we did a radio station, and we had jam sessions and concerts. So it's like, you know, I got to put shows on. I got to do radio shows with people, and, you know, so I'm getting paid to do that. You know, it's pretty cool. And then I was in band, my own music like you on the side, you know, outside, you know. But so I really believe like music has so much power, and it has even more power when it's like what you're doing, like what I did with Life Beat with you know, doing shows at the hospitals. I really think that, because, you know, we separate music. We like music and art and dance and all that, right? It's all meant to be for expression, human expression, and most throughout history, a lot of it was for ceremony and for culture and the village. You know what I mean? It wasn't to be on MTV and to sell records and have you know luxury cars, and right. That's not what music started out to be. I'm not saying it can't be that.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't mind if I, you know, suddenly somebody said, you know, well, I'm doing poetry now, or when I was in a band, you know, hey, we'll pay you $1 million to do this show. So I'm not saying you can't have that, but when you could do what you're doing also, you know, it's a big deal.
I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, and I hope something really good happens with your record, because, you know, you put the work in, and you've done great things. So I can't believe we're almost towards the end of the show. So I always read one poem. And I brought 2, and I can't decide which one I want to read. So one I told you was influenced, and I wrote it in Greenwood Cemetery. You mentioned Greenwood. I live really close to Greenwood. And for people who don't live in the city, or if you do live in the city and don't know what we're talking about, Greenwood Cemetery is in Brooklyn. It's where I go, the entrance where I go is 5th Avenue and 25th Street. But it's just like, it's like a paradise. I know it sounds weird that a cemetery is paradise, but there's everything there that you can imagine when you think about it, besides dead people. It's a beautiful place. It's probably one of the nicest places in Brooklyn. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's the, you know, Prospect Park and Botanical Gardens, you know, and the beaches and all that. But this is like, it's insane how beautiful it is. You know, there are all kinds of trees, and there's lakes and ponds, and then you have the history. You know, and there's a lot of history there. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I'll go there for walks and take it all in. And sometimes I get inspired to write a poem. So the other thing I was thinking about reading, you know, the Chantel song "Maybe."
Sing it.
It's from '57.
Sing a little bit of it.
Oh, you don't want me to sing it because
I probably do.
well, you have to go back and check it out. You've probably heard it because I listened to it recently. I'm like, I don't know if there was ever a performance on record that has that much emotion. It sounds almost like desperation.
Yeah, some of those doo-wop singers.
Yeah,
just
right. But this sounds like I got to read this one.
There was like this thing in doo-wop where it sounded like they were crying.
Yeah, well, doo-wop and also the girl group stuff. They sound like that. So let me read this one then because it's the music connection. Okay. So if you guys are listening or watching, don't know the song, go check it out. It's Maybe by the Chantels. Maybe she put every ounce of her soul into the song until she had nothing left to give. Maybe she was right. Maybe she was singing for hope, maybe for a better life. Maybe she felt this was her only chance for love, for respect, and to become someone. Maybe someone would hear her treatise on love. Maybe they'd sweep her off her feet like a romance movie she watched on Friday night. Maybe she would finally be okay. Maybe not judged by the color of her skin. Maybe she would have a better life. Maybe she would not be poor anymore. Maybe she was a strong woman. Maybe she is beautiful. Maybe she is smart. Maybe she sang like her life depended on it. Maybe she was singing to a higher power. Maybe, just maybe, she will be all right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
I like that. Yeah. I like it a lot.
Thanks. So we blew through the hour. It's almost the hour's not quite over. We're going to end with which one are we going to end with? You want to do slow motion, middle of the night?
Let's do slow motion.
Okay. And we have any things like what because we went through so much. Is something that I missed or that you really want people to know about you or your music or what you're doing?
Yeah, but you have a question about the new album we could throw around?
Well, let me see. So, are there like I said, I didn't really study the lyrics, but I know it's based on the Lower East Side. But what from the Lower East Side is most represented in the album? Like from what part of your life in the Lower East Side, or the people you met, or grown up? Like, what's the biggest takeaway for you and for people that are going to listen to the record?
This sounds like a cop-out answer, but I would say I'm still meditating on that.
Right.
It's mostly my vision of the Lower East Side.
Right.
And it's all the gumbos that I've experienced growing up here. But I think that it birthed from this feeling of angst, where growing up here in the peak of the gentrification years, I actually had a lot of issues with the neighborhood, and it didn't feel really like home to me.
Right.
And I felt, going back to my early years, like what we were talking about, a lot of pride in my independence and having left the neighborhood, and I went out west and I was paying my own rent and living on my own for my whole 20s. And then when I turned 30, we became this record label, and I moved back in with mom and dad so I could save money on rent.
So the label came before you moved back here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I moved back here because of the label.
Wow.
It was like kind of a sacrifice. Like, all right, I'm going to move back in with my parents and, be a volunteer for this organization until we get off the ground.
Wow. Okay.
And give up my independence.
Well, it's good that you had that option, though.
Of course, I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
And, boo-hoo.
But it's hard to move back
to the Lower East Side.
Yeah,
but still, it was like I just turned 30, so it was a bit of a blow to the ego.
And it's also, it's a big adjustment after being on your own for so long and being 30 to be back with the folks, even if you have a great relationship with them. I hope you have a good relationship. Are they both
did
still
with my
us?
mom, and she's still with us, and I have an amazing relationship with her. It's gotten better and better over the years. My dad was, very difficult in a way. But very accommodating, and he was happy that I came back, even though I wasn't. But anyway, long story short, I just really had a different relationship with the Lower East Side around that time. I felt some resentment to it. Like all these people just came in, and just because they had money, they had access.
I don't think you.
And I hated.
You're not the only one that would say that. Yeah,
it didn't really feel like home to me growing up in a way. But now it's doing this album. So even though it birthed from that angst, Escape from LES, that's the title of the album, it's been this amazing process for me in a way where I've found home again here.
Right. And so escape doesn't mean physical because you actually move back.
It's like escaping through music. So even if I never leave the neighborhood, which might happen, I have a really good rent, you know?
Sure.
So even if I never leave the neighborhood, it's like you still, I think, my philosophy, and this is the thing that I've been really meditating on lately, now that the album's out, is that I'm just someone who always wants to see the world.
Right.
And I love the Lower East Side, but to escape it through music and maybe for that music to take me on tour or play it for other people will be a beautiful thing to expand the way I see the world, because I don't think you can fully understand people and yourself by just staying in one place forever, even if it's like the coolest neighborhood in the world, like people say LES is.
Sure. Right.
So mad love to the neighborhood, but that's my meditation on it with this album.
Well, yeah, you have an interesting take on it. So I know the album just came out and you're going to promote it and hopefully go out and perform this year. But in your mind, do you have a concept or an idea for another one?
Okay. For sure.
And what would that be?
Well, it's called the Deli Radio.
Okay.
And it's very similar to Escape from LES in that it's very fun, dancey rock music.
Right.
I'm going to be working with the same producers from Finland.
You have songs
but
ready?
having more, I got tons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 12
nice.
so far.
Right.
It has a song for every hour of the day. Because it's called the Deli Radio, so it's really for like the people who work the night shift, the 24/7 delis,
right?
And the song is the title track, the Deli Radio,
great.
is for all the deli guys.
That's a great concept,
and it's really like go get through the day kind of music.
Right. So
it's more love songs and more poppy in a way, but I'm gonna have live drums on it for sure.
Okay,
this record is all programmed drums, and I think it's cool. It's charming in a way, but I want to bring the band sound even more to it.
Right. I think a band sound would be good for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We're
not
gonna
that
have
this
fun.
isn't a great record, but I think you have the songs and the sound for it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Congratulations on all of this. I hate to end it. It's been a really interesting show. But we're gonna end. We're gonna end with Slow Motion, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So cool. Everybody, I'm gonna sign out. Stick around. Listen to Slow Motion from Fury Young's Escape from Lower East Side record. Please go online and check out Freer Records website. Go on YouTube and watch all the great videos.
FuryYoung.com.
Yeah, your video is available, and the Freer Records has videos too.
Yeah.
Did you do the videos for Freer Records?
Quite a few of them. Yeah.
All right.
So we're FreerRecords.com.
Support this guy. This guy has, besides, he's a lot of talent. I just met him, but he's a great guy and he's doing great things. So please go out and support what he's doing.
Thank you, Pete. FuryYoung.com too.
Yep.
Check us out.
And Instagram?
Yeah, Fury Young Music on Instagram.
Did we connect on Instagram yet? I don't think we did.
Okay,
well we have some follow up to do. Follow up communication. Anyway, so you've been listening to Storytelling on Orchard Street, recorded in the podcast studios of P&T Knitwear Bookstore at 180 Orchard Street. I'm your host Pete Salamita, and I've been talking with Fury Young, and now we're going to listen to his record as we leave.
In a minute, in the night, in the middle of the night, I was quick to see the light. And since then, it's been a one-way mission on a one-way dream, one-way vision on a one-way speed. One day I gotta find out how to try to wind down. One vision and I can't unsee it. One mission on a one-way street. One day I gotta find out how to try to wind down. I'm on my grind now. One-way ticket on a one-way dream. One-way Whoa.